Welcome to Tremendous Talk. We got the industry tea and the jokes. Actors, directors, musicians, and more. You're listening to Tremendous Talk.
Hey everyone, I'm Law.
And I'm Ash, and this is a Tremendous Talk podcast.
Each week, join us as we guide you through the realms of Hollywood and beyond as we speak to industry professionals in the spotlight.
So grab a boba tea and leave your shoes at the door. Welcome to Tremendous Talk.
Instead of boba tea, Ash, maybe we're bringing cola to this episode. I'm so sorry. Well, the reason I say that is because this week, the summer of Sherry Cola lives on. We're talking to the one and only Sherry Cola today. You've seen Sherry absolutely everywhere, from hearing her on the radio, watching her stand up, seeing her characters go viral on TV and film. We love Sherry at Tremendous.
We love Sherry. We love Sherry. We love Sherry. Sherry's newest series is called Nobody Wants This, coming out on Netflix on September 26th, which is a lie because everybody wants it. You can also catch her on Joyride, Shortcomings, Tiger's Apprentice, Good Trouble, A Family Affair, and more. Sherry's IMDb is 27 miles long, and we're here for it.
And it's growing. It's growing. She's one of those people that's keeping booked and busy, and we love to see it. Authenticity, AAPI, and queer representation in entertainment, following your heart and more. That's all so important to Sherry and important for us to highlight. And we will get into every single aspect of that in this episode. So sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Welcome to the Tremendous Talk podcast. Sherry Cola!
Ba, 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 ba. We're jumping right in. Sherry, thank you for joining us on Tremendous Talk. We've been excited to have you on, and we're so glad it worked out today. But, you know, we're all about highlighting people like you who are paving the way in entertainment, especially as a person of color, especially as an Asian person doing the thing. And so thank you for your time. But we always do start with a speed round, which Ash will lead us in. It's not super fast, I promise.
Okay, Sherry, so
It's not
very fast. That's so funny. Sherry, you look gorgeous right now. You just got in glam. You're doing a big old press day today. What's your favorite part of the getting in glam process? Like the top part that you think of that you're like, I can't wait to blank, blank, blank.
Truly, because Tammy, who does my makeup, and Steven, who does my hair, they're family to me. I'm just sitting in my bra, low stakes, not needing to turn it on, you know, before I have to turn it on. So that's really important, the balance of doing the most and doing the least, you know?
Oh, I love that. I want to get into that whole turning it on and off thing later. But while you're getting your makeup and hair done, do you have a favorite like boba order or drink or like coffee that you have?
Oh, I'm definitely drinking my throat coat tea with honey, ginseng, and little herbs in my Sundance 2023 mug. Thank you very much. Shout out to Shortcomings. But I'm always lubricating the throat. That is, you know, my routine, because I'm yelling and screaming. For some reason, I don't know how to whisper. That's kind of my brand. But I also love an almond slush. I love a taro milk tea. I love a green tea, no sugar with aloe. So you can't put me in a box, baby.
I love specifics.
I love that.
That's how you know you're like a connoisseur. That's what
I love that. Well, be sure to not make the podcast titled Sherry Cole is always lubricating her throat.
Honey, we want to get the clicks.
We do need clicks. Yeah, I was going to say.
Okay, what's your go-to takeout order?
Nong La on La Brea, Bun Ryu, which is underratedly my favorite Vietnamese noodle soup.
Oh, my
Specifics again, baby. I had that ready.
That.
I didn't even know you were going to ask that.
That's prepared,
that's how
ready
you know
to
it's
go.
real. That's authenticity right there. That's what we're looking for.
Okay, so you're on your way to set or something. This is kind of getting into the questions that we're going to ask about your upcoming series, but what is the podcast always playing in your car, your go-to podcast?
Ooh.
Oh my God. You know what? Cobayer, Why Won't You Date Me? I'm going on that today.
Yeah. Oh, no. I love her.
Come on.
That's
You know, Jared Goldstein has a fantastic one that I was just on. You know, I love all my AAPI LGBTQ plus voices on podcasts. You know, I can listen to it on repeat like it's Michelle Branch's first album.
It's a good album. It's a fire album. It makes sense. But I mean, like, yeah, like Ash said, nobody wants this. There is a podcast. It's very centric around the podcast at first, but going into that, I was just like, I even pulled up the cast list. I told Ash, I was like, this is a pretty exciting cast list over
Stacked.
here. Can you, yeah, just tell us about that experience working on that set? Who do you play? Just like give us the rub.
First of all, I'm coming for Netflix this year. You know what I mean? There's something so beautiful about the reach that Netflix has. So I'm just thrilled to be a part of this show and this cast. Kristen Bell and Adam Brody. That is vision board shit. And
Totally.
it's a duo that you never knew you needed. You know what I mean? I feel like everyone's going to watch this, a very hilarious rom-com series that explores, an agnostic, unapologetic sex podcaster who kind of falls for this hot rabbi who's very much, about his faith and the boundaries of their family members, and it's just so much fun. And I play one of Kristen's friends who also produces the podcast she has with her sister, played by Justine Loop, and of course Tim Simons is also on. And Tim and I have been on all of the projects together. He was in Joyride and Shortcomings, so it was cool to unite again for this. But it's just so refreshing, and it's honestly like LOL.
Yeah.
LOL.
Oh, that sounds it's so thick and juicy. Hashtag hot rabbi. I'm into all of
Oh,
this. I'm into all of it.
hashtag thick and juicy. And my name is Ashley in the show, by the way.
There you
No.
go.
Oh, I
I
love
hope you
it.
feel seen.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Can you explain to us more on like what the onboarding process was, or like getting into the Netflix family, or just like your journey kind of into this in the very beginning?
Well, I auditioned for this role in December of 2023. And I remember I was filming a film called You're Dating a Narcissist with Marissa Tomei. And I got home late at night after I wrapped, and my voice was so raspy and I was tired, but I was like, I have to knock out this audition. And it was like 11:15 p.m. And, my girlfriend is, of course, tolerating. We're both actresses, so that's like a best case scenario. But I do this self tape, and then I think it was like maybe a month later, I find out that I booked it. And to work with Kristen and Adam and the entire just phenomenal cast, as well as Aaron and Sarah, who have a brand of their own and have such a dedicated fan base, it really is just like I have chills. Okay. But yeah, it was just the audition process. And me, I'm all about the humble hustle. Like I've always been so patient and so excited. Those are the two adjectives that I always kind of align with my career, because I know that it's not overnight. Like I've done some really dope things, but I also know that like I still have to work hard, perhaps 3 times as hard, because of who we are, our identities. And I'll never stop having that mentality of like being on the street team of a radio station in 2016. You know what I mean? Like that's just gonna be me at my core forever and always. So yeah, just the hustle. And I was lucky enough to also be a part of A Family Affair, the movie on Netflix as well. And I popped in on an episode of that 90s show. So I'm very grateful for Netflix giving me opportunities this year, and I hope to keep it going.
Yeah, that
Look at
Netflix
you.
wave. Like, you're reaching so many households when you're on a platform like that, which is really exciting.
Global.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you mentioned kind of that humble hustle, which I love that term. But with it, when it comes to auditions, I always say it's like set it and forget it, right? You do it and then you pretend that that it's done, that you're not gonna get it. What is your kind of like approach to like these projects, especially when you want something super bad? Like, do you just kind of like erase it from your mind as well, or like how do you handle that part of the process?
First of all, therapy works wonders. And second of all, it comes with time and experience in this industry. But, I can't say it doesn't hurt sometimes when you don't get something that you're emotionally attached to, because
Yeah.
we're human. You kind of envision your life if you booked it, etc. But at the end of the day, it's not personal. you
Mhm.
know like whenever I find out who gets the role, I'm like, oh, that makes sense. That's perfect. Like, go off, sis. And I'm always rooting for them because a lot of times it's also my friends. You know what I mean? Like if one of us wins, then we all win. And it really is a group project. I said this a lot when I was doing press for Joyride and Shortcomings, like especially within the AAPI community. It feels like we're in a place where we are so fired up and supporting each other that there is no competition. You know, of course I have that luxury of saying that because, you know, I'm newer in the biz, if you will, as opposed to, of course, the Michelle Yeohs and Sandra Oh's and the Lucy Liu's, who were trailblazers and really paved the path because they went through even more problematic shit for me to be able to confidently preach today in 2024, you know? So I'll never take that for granted. The fact that they really did the work, you know, for us to have more of a voice, for us to really just thrive. So yeah, it's just a beautiful time, and I feel optimistic, you know, and I feel like I still think we have to keep fighting because there is more catching up to do in terms of representation. But yeah, we just gotta show people that we're not going anywhere, you know?
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that. That's so beautiful. I mean, like at Tremendous, we literally call it the summer of Sherry Cola forever because it's just like it seems like it's never ending and we're here for it too. And I love that you mentioned like the Lucy Liu's and Michelle Yeoh's of the world because I feel like you are that person for so many freaking people today between like AAPI communities, LGBTQ communities. You like I look at you and I'm like, that's fucking it, man. Like that's what I want to be. Like that's it. What is this? Do you have a line between like we're in this really like cool nuanced place now in society where we're applauding every AAPI win, right? We're celebrating. It's like like it's awesome and it's awesome that it's happening, but it's also like this needs to be the norm. Why are we celebrating this still? Why is it like a big deal whenever it's happening? What is that line for you? Like I love that you said like we're seeing this everywhere, right? Like what do you think needs to be the next step in order for it to just be not like a thing?
Thank you so much for your kind words. You're making me cry this morning. But we can't let the fake lashes fall off.
Okay, Glam Team's on is gonna pick up the
They're on
pieces.
deck.
Don't worry, don't worry.
I gotta say, I have to shout out Good Trouble real quick. I spent
Yeah.
6 years on this show. The pilot was directed by John M. Chu, so that was such a treat for me. That's a little known fact. And this show changed my life. It was 5 seasons of feeling liberated and comfortable in my own skin because I got this opportunity. Because you know this role was created, it opened up so many doors in terms of the AAPI space and the queer space and how you know I have these open conversations. So I don't take it lightly that that was such a gift. Good Trouble. I think all we want is to normalize our existence, right? Because a lot of these stories, although they have cultural specifics, which is incredible, it's also so universal. It's so relatable, whether it's about love or self-discovery or family or just the ups and downs of being flawed human beings. Like this is just, you know, the experience of everyone on this earth. I think, you know, for a long time we were seen as niche. You know, people would say that no one's gonna watch this. Like, are people gonna get it? But really, yeah, the deeper you go, the wider the audience is. And that's what we've learned with things like Beef, with things like Everything Everywhere All at Once, with things like Past Lives, you know, like we can all see ourselves in these characters no matter who you are. And I think, you know, when you watch it, no matter where you grew up, no matter how you identify, you walk away feeling inspired to go tell your own story. And that's so powerful. And I think we see it. There is evidence in that progress in the last, you know, 5, 6 years. So unfortunately, I feel like we haven't been given the chance to do it enough yet.
Yeah.
Right. Like I'm still waiting for more and I'm still hoping for more so that it is, you know, just what it is. Right. Like, yeah, there's no correct answer per se. Let's just keep pushing.
Yeah.
Jayo. you know,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
there's the term jayo, which means to add gas, pump gas. And I say that to my mom every day. She says it to me as well. Prayer emoji, prayer emoji, prayer emoji. And, you know, that's all we can do is keep pushing and not give up. Because people will say it's a trend. People will say, you know, like, oh, Asian stories had their time. But I disagree. There's still so much to be seen and heard.
Yeah, I think Ash and I talk about this all the time. The idea of like talking about representation, the conversation does feel like it gets stale sometimes because we're asking the same things of like, why does it matter? But it does matter because I see, even my friends, I don't like, you may have seen the pictures, they dressed up as Brownie Tuesday at a Comic-Con. And it's just like stuff like that, like the ripple effect that it does have. You see them in like just like day-to-day life stuff, you know what I mean? But I am curious from like a success standpoint because like I've seen you host galas, you're on TV, you're on film, stand up, all this stuff. I'm curious, like you mentioned Good Trouble as like that was like a something that gave you your big break, but when did it click to your head that your life was changing forever, like that you were on a different trajectory now?
There's some little things like having Margaret Cho's phone number. That's a big deal,
That's kind
you
of
know,
that's a big deal, yeah.
or like being invited to Randall Park's birthday. That's a big deal. Or
Awesome.
like when I hosted the Unforgettable Gala in 2021 and Sandra Oh was backstage just raving about me. I was like, wait, what? Like,
Yeah.
what is this? And that night I remember John Cho following me on Instagram. So there's like these little moments where I'm like, wow, my heroes know who I am, you
Mhm.
know, and that little by little, it's almost like a microdosing of moments that make me feel like I made it because there is no definitive moment, you know, because you do these projects, all you can do is your best and have no regrets when you leave set. How it plays out, how much money it makes, etc. You can't predict that. You know what I really take away, and you know what I define as making it is the relationships that I have with my co-stars, my directors, like Ashley, Sabrina, Stephanie, and I have a forever bond. Me, Ali Maki, Justin Min, forever bond. My cast from Good Trouble, that is family. You know what I mean? So the fact that we can take away those things, I think that is ultimately what defines success. And the fact that my mom is proud,
Yeah,
I
hell yeah.
think that, I just told her, oh, mom, I'm going to be on the news today. Like little things like that. The American dream that we never even thought was feasible as immigrants. I was
Mhm.
born in Shanghai. And I remember when I was a teenager hosting the talent show in high school and doing funny videos in film club. I always wanted to perform and I had a passion for comedy, but I had no resources. I thought it was such a gamble because there was such a lack of representation. Like it didn't feel possible. So now I've already surpassed the bare minimum, which is what society wanted us to settle for, you
Mhm.
know? So I'm just like so juiced 24/7 to do more and more and more. And sometimes that's little by little, step by step, day by day. You know what I mean?
It does seem like it does move fast when it starts moving, though. I mean, like from the Unforgettable Gala to like a couple of years later, you're on a carpet for Tiger's Apprentice with Sandra. Oh, you know what I mean? Like that.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love her so
That's
much.
so cool.
She's the funniest person alive.
Oh, she's so
I
sweet.
I love this like keep going, keep going, keep going aspect. And you mentioned it a little bit earlier too, that like the street team for your radio that you were on, like when you were young, right? You have that kind of like energy. Like you learn how to produce at a young age. You learn how to like keep yourself up and like really like hashtag grind, hashtag hustle, that kind of thing. Can you explain a little bit more about how you've used that energy like in your day-to-day life still and like not stay stagnant?
Mm,
It's giving self-charging Nest thermostat. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Um, I think it is important for me to like stay present and have those moments to myself. Like I said, the turning off and the turning on, that balance, because sometimes I can be doing too much where my voice is, raspy beyond belief, although it's very sexy. Um, People think I sound like Miley Cyrus, and now you can't unhear it.
Oh,
No.
whoa.
But especially back when I worked in radio, people would turn around in public thinking I was her. It's wild.
That is wild.
I can't
I don't
unhear
know.
it now.
Yeah, I got some sort of twang. But I think, I just refuse to do nothing. Which might be my toxic trait. Like even right now, I have like multiple projects I'm developing because, now that Good Trouble's over, I'm looking for the Sherry Cola TV show, and be the leading lady. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of things happening behind the scenes. Cooking up, baby. I'm cooking up. So stay tuned. But yeah, I feel like I'm just not the type of person to sit and wait. We must sit and create, especially because of how little we were given in the past. I just refuse to, let a minute go to waste, which once again, I'm not saying is correct, like I respect doing less as well. But yeah, I mean, I've always been, adamant about like having a stage and not letting it slip through your fingers. Like even if you have 3 followers or 30 million followers, I have seen the ripple effect of amplifying my voice and others, like in the DMs, people feeling just really touched by whether it's the work I do on screen or just me being me via IG story. You know what I'm saying? And like with every year, there's another generation that's older and that will discover the art you put into the world and, be impacted by it. So you really just gotta do what you can at all times. Once again, this is my toxic trait, okay?
It resonates though, because I think as creatives, I mean, I'm that kind of brain where it's just like I've gotten the thing I want. What's next? And you're like constantly hungry, and I think that ultimately will lead to good things. Maybe it's a little toxic, but I don't want to
That
admit that right
balance.
now.
I'm
Yeah,
still trying to find that balance for
yeah,
sure.
for sure.
Oh, do you guys smell that? Whew, it's Sherry. She's cooking.
Oh, I love.
I love that
Honey,
though. Like
sizzle
something
and the
that
drizzle, baby.
sizzle and drizzle. I feel the something that I just love about all of our time working together is that you are so authentically you, and I admire that so much. Whether it be your confidence or you just like showing up as yourself, whether it be on or off, and you just having such human to human conversation with everybody you ever come in contact with, whether it be like on camera, you can see those are your fucking friends on camera. Like you're having heart to hearts with them on screen and it just happens to be in front of a camera. But talking a little bit about like also with the upcoming projects and stuff that you have and your like tight relationship with like Randall and the Johns of the world and stuff. When you work with these folks to create these characters, are you able to like kind of write in things about them or like create these characters together or even have people written about you? Because I love the LGBTQ representation in your characters. Like you play these beautiful, nuanced, queer characters that have these like, just beautiful lives. And is that something that's written in advance, or are you able to like add in factors of these characters into what's already on the page?
There's definitely a lot of trust and collaboration with the directors and producers on most of the projects I've been a part of. And I feel very fortunate that I had those experiences. With Shortcomings, of course, it was based on a graphic novel written by Adrian Tamina that was published in 2007. And Shortcomings, the film, is not much different from the book, which just goes to show that we're still having these same conversations. So that character was already queer. But there was one thing though, because in the book, she's full Korean. And because it was based on someone, I, for some reason, felt like I don't know if I could represent this Korean person. So I talked to Randall and we made her half Chinese in the film. There's a line about my Chinese grandpa. Just because like I know it's always case by case with this specific topic, right? But because it was based on a character, I wanted to kind of make it a little more authentic to me. And so that's what we did. And just this character is so unapologetically queer and she's a fuck girl, really. So we're just representing, the glasses wearing, cutie, not size 0, Asian fuck girls of the world. So that was really fun. And with Joyride, there was this line. I mean, first of all, there was so much improvising in Joyride because we just bounced off of each other and there were such magical moments. that came organically, and because Teresa and Cherry wrote such a brilliant script to begin with, you know, like it was just such a dream team. And I mean, I think we knew when we were filming Joyride, like how like much of a big deal this was going to be to the community, because it was the first of its kind, you know. So we just had so much fun doing it. All shot in Vancouver, by the way, aka Seattle, or aka
whatever you need it to be,
China, and aka Korea.
Yeah.
But yeah, like there's a lot of playing around, and I think I gotta say, just in everything I've been in, because even Good Trouble, that was categorized as a drama, there was a lot of levity in my character, but a lot of like traumatic storylines that my character went through. Like season 4 of Good Trouble, I think is my like best work as an actor, period. Like I have never been so just challenged, because I was like crying every episode, and like you know, I'm just so grateful for that classroom, you know what I'm saying? But my point is, like, Joanna, our showrunner creator, like also gave me the liberty to play a lot of the times. And, you know, I think that's something I'm really proud of. Just being a stand-up. Like, I love to go off the cuff. Like, that's literally what I consider my superpower. So I think that's something that I will always bring. Yeah, that kind of energy to set. So yeah, I'm just yeah, it's just blessings.
Absolutely. You know, I know you got to get going in a second, but you know, at the end of our podcast, we always love to pass the mic to our guests. If there's anything that you want to promote, or if there's a piece of advice you want to share to any creatives that are listening, whatever you want to do in this moment, we want to give you a space on our small platform just to express whatever it is you're feeling right now.
I mean, I'm feeling so much. I'm feeling so much. Mainly really craving boba now. Yeah. But I gotta say 3 words: find a way. Ooh. Find a way. That's what I did. You know, like, we don't have famous parents. Like, where do you start? How do I get into Hollywood? I was making videos on Vine. You know, I was doing a makeshift podcast on SoundCloud. Like, I was just trying my best to somehow like showcase my personality. So find a way. And somehow I did, you know, like I called into radio stations, like, just, I don't know. I can't believe I actually ended up on air thanks to Carson Daly. Yeah. On 97.1 FM. Like, every step of the way, I was like, oh my God, I did it. I made it. This is it. And then something bigger happens. Oh my God, I made it. This is it. So find a way, because anything is possible. And yeah, watch Nobody Wants This, which premieres Netflix September 26th.
Well,
amazing.
This was such a lovely conversation. You are such a lovely person. Thank you.
We could talk for hours and hours and hours.
I know. I could feel the energy already. This is only the beginning of this conversation. You know what I mean?
Thank you so much for having me, y'all.
Enjoy the rest of your press day. Thank you again.
Thank you. I love Tremendous.
Yeah.
Let's go.
The Tremendous Talk podcast is produced by Lawrence Sharma, Ashley Rapuano Sanchez, Gabriela David, Joseph Garalde, and Jeremiah Abraham, in collaboration with Tremendous. The Tremendous Talk podcast jingle is by Jared Sanchez and Ashley Rapuano Sanchez, produced at Amsterdam Records.